Alright guys, gonna give it a minute for people to get in here. Zach DIY Guns, you're a good man. You sir are a good man as well. You're here bright and early. Look at you, high speed. How do I sound? Do I need to talk louder? Y'all just hang tight. Look at the pretty pictures. I did make, I don't know if y'all can see it as well as I made it. If you have your Adobe Illustrator in front of you, check your settings and the preferences. It's echoing on my end, but yeah. So check your preferences, and then where I have, you may have to make it a full screen. Where I circled, yeah, y'all know. Okay, I'll be back in like. Let's give it a few more minutes. Let people get in here. Let the lurkers start, doing their thing. And then, if you want to follow along, I don't have anything set exactly for this, so we're kind of just freeballing it. So, but the idea that I wanted to do, is it echoing for anybody? Can y'all hear me? Hey, Miss Wayne. Inkscape, I don't know, but um, you should stop using Inkscape. Alright, cool. Thank you, though, for the mic check. Alright, let's give it a few minutes. I'm going to go walk around in a few circles really fast because I'm anxious. And then we'll get the show on the road. For other people who may be coming in, if y'all want to let them know, I'm going to run through kind of the important stuff first, and then once I get the general part done, I'll start taking questions, and then we can kind of just go from there, and Q&A type. It's just me, so it's kind of hard to watch chat at the same time. Here, let me do this. Howdy. You can see me. This is crazy, right? All right, so first part of the tutorial, I'm going to run through the important stuff, like what I have on the screen right here. If you have your Illustrator up, go ahead and run through that. You need to change your tolerance, knock it down to 3, and then in general, make sure you have scale, corners, and scale, strokes, and effects. Make sure you have those, check the boxes checked, and then yeah, so let's give it a few minutes. Like I said, I'm going to go walk in a few circles and calm down, and then we'll get the show on the road. All right? So there's that. I'll see you in a minute. Oh, you are in for a treat. That wrench has been going for 17 hours, and it just finished. That wasn't planned. I expected it to not be done right now. So I guess when we're done with that, we can, whatever. So yeah, let me try to. Let's see here. Can't see. Yeah, I don't know. Oh. Alright, I'm not good at this. Yeah, whatever. Alright, so the most important thing is what's on the screen right now. Y'all go do that with your Illustrator. If you have Inkscape, go ahead and uninstall that off your computer. That's like malware. Pretty much, it's gross. Alright, I'll be right back. Oh, he's got my... Nuh-uh. You, sir, hand over the Black & Decker toaster. This is not a joke. Alright, seriously, I'll be right back. And then we'll get started. I don't want to get too sidetracked right off the bat. So, yeah. 90 seconds. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go ahead and get this show on the road. Let me pull my pretty face back up. Hello, I am Steven with Fragout Design Studios. We are gathered here today to go, and we're gonna do a tutorial. I've been asked this question I don't know how many times. Please, let's save the hot dog comments for the end of the stream. I don't want to get too sidetracked, but yes, that is important. And I'd like to thank everybody who's tuning in. Yeah, so here's the deal. Like, I'm not bashing other people who've made tutorials. I actually watch them. I watch all the tutorials to see what people are doing. The templates tutorials, however. Yesterday, I was like, that's it. All right, I gotta make a video because I keep seeing people and they'll make tutorials and it's great and it works, sure, but it's not how I do it. And so, the reason why I haven't even made this tutorial, it's not that I'm holding out on you guys. It's just like every time you make a template, every project you work on is gonna be different. You got to strategize as you go with how you lay out these templates, and save the questions for the end. I'd be more than happy to show, live Q&A type deal at the end. But let me run through this. Yeah, the hot dog. All right, so first things first. If you're brand new to Adobe Illustrator, if you've uninstalled Inkscape like I asked you to, like a great American citizen, and if you're not, well, you're here, you're one today. And so, first thing I want you to do is, over here, on my YouTube, I made a playlist of all the previous tutorials I've made. The top 2 are the most important, especially if you're going to be running Adobe Illustrator. And just to confirm, I'm not echoing for you guys, am I? If you can, let me know. Hopefully I'm not echoing. But back to this. So the top tutorial is my 6-step prep. That'll prep anything you ever worked on, mine, someone else's, whatever, for your engraving software. And I was taught calling that stuff, it's ripping software, like printing when I ran wide format printers and all that stuff. The way you want to do this, and this is how I learned doing printing and the sign business and all that, is you don't want to do it all on the same software, because normally the ripping software, it's not what you want to do. That is only meant to run the machine that you're sending the artwork to, and that's why we have Adobe Illustrator. Okay, cool. It's echoing for me, but I can handle it. So Adobe Illustrator, I get it. You have to pay for it, and that's a downer. But if you're doing this to even make any remotely amount of money, it's so worth it. It really, it's the number, like, you got to spend money to make money in business, and I can guarantee if you're serious about this, it's going to save you time, stress, and you got me here to yell at you. So, but anyways, the first tutorial I have at the top is the 6-step prep tutorial, and that's important. That's the fix all for anything, and even if it's not my artwork. The second one is the beginner's guide, and I go through these and I show you how to set up your interface like mine that you see here with the panels. Normally my buttons and stuff aren't this big, but I made my interface UI larger, so I guess y'all can kind of see what's going on. Let me move this right here. We'll get to that. Alright, blank screen. How we doing? Let me load this up so it's just not a blank screen being all weird. I'm excited that wrench got done. I thought I had a few more hours. Okay, so yeah, so that second tutorial will show you how to get, because it's also important to have your tools and everything where you kind of need it so you can access it, including tutorials. Now, I'm not gonna go and get into making a tutorial on how I get the photos and how I take them, because that's a whole other thing. I'd be more glad to share that another day. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and skip ahead. So if you're pulling pictures off the internet and everything else, it's gonna be hit or miss. And the main reason why is, let me scroll down, is the lens and the warping it does. So this photo here doesn't have it. It says it does, but it doesn't. But the next one, you see that change? Let me zoom in. You see that? That's not a big deal, but from like, I've been fine-tuning this process probably for the past 2 years, and I'm still not perfect at it, and I'm still figuring new things out as I go. But if you're grabbing pictures off the internet, if it's not dead on, you may run into issues. And if you do, that's okay, because I'm going to show you how to make these templates to where if you run into issues, we can easily tweak things. So, but yeah, I probably just did a little spoiler alert on some future projects. But anyways, so yes, and there's, I don't know how many pictures I have in here. I've taken almost 5,000 pictures, and this is just since I've had the shop. And so, yeah, it's a challenge to build these assets, but I've gotten really good at it. But that's a tutorial for another day. But so back to Adobe Illustrator. So we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna make a new document. I preferably, the way I do it is a tabloids. Sorry, didn't mean that happen. That's my email notification, by the way. That's what I hear every time you guys email me. So yeah, tabloid size, mainly because it fits perfect in the frame. When you first start making your template, you're going to want to break down your files into 3 stages. The first stage, you're designing. The second stage, you're prepping, and the third stage is you're exporting for the software that your laser runs off of. So this file, you can get messy with it. And I'm going to show you all a few tips, things that I do along the way, to where it makes life easier if you ever need to go back or change things, but also have assets for the future on files that you didn't finalize, if that makes sense. But anyways, tabloid, RGB. If anybody that does CNC and you're one of those like super scale 2/3 blah blah, like very specific, you're probably not gonna like this video, because we're loosey goosey all the way up till the end, and then we're good to go. But for right now, you don't need to worry about the picture being the actual size or the artwork or anything. And I'm actually going to show y'all something that a lot of y'all may not know. Alright, so I'm going to go here, and I have an example that I first want to do that isn't a gun. And this is just because it's super simple, and we're going to go ahead and run with that and get the ball rolling. And I don't even know what this tool is called. I found it in one of my toolboxes. But yeah, it's cool looking, so I want to draw on it. Anyways, you see, this picture is huge. I mean, this tool is very small. Don't mess around with me. Get you with my claw. But it's definitely not the size, and that's okay. And that's how I like it. I work big. And one thing Adobe Illustrator likes to do is also work big. You don't have to scale this down to the size that it's going to be needed to be until the very end. So you got your picture here of your claw. You inherited this from your great grandfather who killed a transforming Cybertooth. Okay. The one thing you'll notice is, like, in the pictures I take, most of the stuff is in a dead center, and there's a lot of dead space, and that's also for lens distortion. An old carpet cutter. I don't believe it. This is a Decepticon finger. Alright, but what I normally do with my pictures is, like, there's a lot of dead space, because you don't want, you do want to keep it nice and tight with your artwork. So I'm gonna trim it down. What I'm doing right now is I'm making a clipping mask. Just drawing a box, and then holding shift, clicking the picture, make clipping mask. Alright. Now, this isn't, I need to go through this because if y'all don't, it may be a little different. It's what I had on that first screen. You want to go to the top, go to edit and preferences, and then you'll start with general. This will pop up. I don't know what the default is, but make sure scale corners and scale strokes and effects is checked. That's how I have it. That'll prevent things from getting weird down the road. Alright, now once you have that, go to section and anchor display. I think the default's like 6. Put that to 3. I don't know exactly how to explain this and what it does. You can Google it. But it helps. So just do it. Hit OK. Alright, where are we at scale wise? Alright, so it's at 100. Maybe a little bit bigger. Like I said, you can always work bigger and it helps. It does help. Like these are, I just blew these things up to like 30 inches. Alright, and in previous tutorials, I said don't mess with layers, don't do layers. Like I said, this is one of the 3 stages with your designing. So you can get layers, you can get sloppy with it, you can toss things around. This is not the final prep file to be engraved. We're just making a template. So I make a second layer. I'm weird about it. I don't like the red outline, so I put that one on the bottom. I select the artwork, right click, send to current layer, and then lock it. Now I did pull this up because I keep doing it and I don't realize it. Hotkeys. If you type in Google Adobe Illustrator hotkeys, this is like the first link that pops up. Yes, exactly. The first Adobe Illustrator hotkeys. Click this. Mac, Windows, whatever you got, click on one of these. I have Windows. This comes up. I want you to save this to your computer, but also print this out, and then wherever your desk is, tape it, like on the wall or whatever else, to where you can just glance at it and do that every day. Like, learn the main tools that you're using and learn the hotkeys. For today, like Z is for zoom. I use that, zoom in and out on the picture. The mouse, like when I do this with the hand, oh, you see the hand. When I'm dragging my stuff around, I'm holding the space bar. This is all like, I don't even realize I'm doing it, so it's hard to like, this is why I made note of this beforehand. P, as in Papa John's, P is the pen tool. That's what the main tool we're going to be using this evening for making the templates. But there's learn your hotkeys. It's going to be a pain in the ass at first, but then you're going to get like me. You're not even going to realize you're hitting buttons. And yeah, that's all I wanted to show you there. Okay. So if you see me dragging around, I'm just holding the spacebar button and clicking. So now that you have your picture of your grandfather's Decepticon finger, go ahead and hit that hotkey P, and this is gonna pop up. You can also hold this. If you hold down on the in this toolbar over here, it'll pop up the sub menu, pen tool. Make sure you're on a new layer that's not locked, and then you'll have this, and you can do whatever. One of the things, my biggest pet peeve with some of these tutorials I've been seeing is this click. There's like nodes everywhere. No, stop it. The less nodes, the better. And I'll tell you why later. But so basically, you start wherever you want. You know, I usually try to find a spot that's a straight edge. I don't start on curves. But you know, so like right here, and then so you click your left click button. I don't know if my camera's in the way. Hopefully it's not. Let's crack-a-lackin' Mr. Moreno. Alright. So we'll go ahead and I'm going to click a second node right here. Now, some people just keep going, and some of them do like stuff like, well, let me put a color on this. Some people is just clicking on, stop making janky lines. You don't need to. Now sometimes when you click and you go on a curve and you click again, you get this. If you hold that left, like once you click it, don't let up, and you'll get this. Now you can do it this way. Okay, let me make the stroke a little bit bigger. Now you can do it that way. I don't. That's not how I do it. Let's go back and start all over, because this is really important. This is, well, yesterday I was like, all right, I got to show you guys this, because I don't think anybody really knows this. All right, let's put the color back on the stroke. Let's make it thick so y'all can see it. All right, so now I click here, and that's where I start. First click. Now sometimes you'll notice that, like, you know, you could like get the perfect straight lines all you want, whatever. Work with the piece that you have in front of you. Don't worry about the exact perfect straight lines, because more than likely your picture isn't straight. So you want to zoom in, and like if you can't get it dead on that line, zoom all the way in. Keep zooming in. Alright, so, and then sometimes you're like, oh well, I lost it, right? So you go back, hit P, click on that last anchor, and continue on. Alright, now say if you want to adjust it just a little bit, because normally my stroke is also super thin. It's usually like this, not super thick. But, you know, I want to move it up just a little bit. Okay. Now you're like, oh, we got to go on a curve. I'm gonna be like, I don't. I'm not curving this. Not right now. You want to make a sharp corner. Now this is where you're just gonna have to practice and do it repetition to know where you want to place that specific node. And here's why. So once you're ready to get this curve, hit the hotkey A. That'll give you your white arrow. Click the node and you'll see this circle pop up. Drag this thing down. Drag it. Now sometimes it's not dragged right. You pulled it all the way, it won't go anymore. So go ahead and just adjust this node. Now I'm just clicking on the nodes. Sometimes it'll make another node, that's fine. And then you grab the little stick things, whatever, and you just make it fit. And there you go. Looks good. Let's proceed on. Sometimes you'll see a little sharp corner there. Oh, the computer's lagging a little bit. You can drag that out and smooth it out later. So carry on, blah blah blah. I know this isn't a gun and this is very boring. Now sometimes on like a curve like this, I will click, hold, and drag, and that'll allow you to finagle it. And just get it where you want it, let go. Now, one thing is, like, after you do a curve, you're like, oh crap, because most of the time this never lines up perfectly for your next node. I don't know if y'all can see it, but what you do, this is I don't know if a lot of people know this. Click on that last node that you just did, and it'll remove it from making you do it like progressive. It thinks you want to use, oh, let's keep going up. Nuh-uh. I don't like it telling me what to do. So I usually click on that last node, so I have the freedom to put it where I want it, and I'll create the curves where I want it. Now sometimes, like, you want to zoom in and you lose your P, so just click P, click on the last node, and it'll pop back up. Now sometimes when I'm zoomed all the way in, it's a pain in the ass, because you're like, well, I can't, you know. It's cool, just click, you know, like whatever, drag a little bit till the anchors pop up, then hit A, then grab that. But sometimes you zoom back out, and like I said, this is where it's like, it's not something you can really teach somebody how to do this, because it's the flow. You flow with it. It's weird. It normally doesn't take me this long, but I'm trying to break this down. I really wish my computer would cooperate here. Thank you. Alright, someone yelled at me the other day for going to the edge of the blade, so we won't do that. I'm gonna ruin it. Of course my computer starts lagging. That's great. See, sometimes it won't let you, it'll like, here or there, here or there. Zoom that bad boy in till it bends to your will. I want it right here on this pixel. That's where I want it right now. I'm hitting A, and then my computer's lagging. Maybe close Lightroom. Alright. So I'm going to speed this up so we can get to the gun stuff, because there are also important things I want y'all to see. Like that. And like, it never does the curve how I like it, so I just click that last node and do it myself. And like, if you click and drag, it'll move the screen around. It's just, like I said, every time you make a template, it's gonna be different. So you just gotta, you know, learn the process. And the only way you're gonna be able to do that successfully is just do it in practice. All right, now whenever you run that, let me go back. All right, so you have like your home stretch here. You only have one more thing to get this template done, because if you do this and you don't close the shape, you need to close the shape. Don't ask me the why. Just know it won't work. So from this node, you click on this node, complete shape, and then you know you can fill it in. You can see like, ooh, that's nice. That's fancy. All right. And take that fill back out. I'm not watching chat right now. Like I said, I want to run through this first, and then I'll get to the questions, because my ADHD like will never get done. So this is when I go back and I fine tune where it's at. I'm like, okay, we got a little gap there. See what's going on. Like, all right. Sometimes you're like, maybe I need another node. So hit the P button when you're going around. You can see that it's selected. Hit P and click on the line. It'll show you like a plus mark, and that means you can just drop a node in, and that'll give you a little more freedom. Or if you want to manipulate things like so. You're like, oh, that's gross. And then sometimes this is where it gets weird, where like you're like, I want to move this, but then that moves. You're like, oh no, what's happening? I'll make this a bit thicker so you can see. Like this, like you're like, no, stop. It's not working. It's not going to line up well. Up here where it says convert, and there's like a sharp angle and a curve. Click the sharp angle, it'll shut that shit down real quick. And then you can do this. Like, alright, that looks about right. Zoom out a little bit, and then zoom out a little more. Yeah, right there. That's where I want it. Don't let the software tell you where the line's gonna go. If you want it to look better, or if you want it your way, do it. Don't let the software decide for you. Sometimes you guys zoom all the way in, sometimes you guys zoom all the way out. That's just how it goes. I don't like software telling me what to do. Alright, delete that. Alright, so we got this line here. Let me make it a little bit thicker, and then I'm gonna make it red because I want y'all to see this. Now, if you watched my tutorial on how to set up your interface like mine, you're gonna have this up, and you're gonna have it with all the options here like I got. If you haven't done that, it's gonna look like this. Just whatever. You see where it says stroke right here where I'm circling? You're just gonna have like one thing. That's not helpful. There are a lot of tools in there that some may not know about. So click show options. Poof. You just got an assortment of awesomeness. Now, why am I bringing this up? Now, you don't have to do this, but this is how I'm going to give you the best example. The default line width. So if we have it super thin, you can keep it on the edge and you got a template. But it's not very useful in regards to going forward creating the design with it. So I'm going to, oh shit. I'm going to go ahead and make this thin again real quick. So you can see how we have it. It's around the Decepticon claw. Now, I want it thick because I like my thick borders. And I know my artwork is dead on. But if you don't do what I'm about to show you, then your template's going to be off. The artwork's not going to fit. You're going to have issues. especially if you try to scale it down, like, oh, I'll just make it smaller, well, it's going to be off. It's not going to look right. Now, let me show you what I'm talking about. You see here, half is on the blade, the other half is off. That's not ideal. So what I usually do, let me make this right again. And sometimes, like, usually there's something like going on with my work that isn't right. I don't know what it is. I don't really care. I don't have time to figure it out. But if you have the Pathfinder Tools panel pulled out, I know my template's supposed to be complete. There's something going on. You can always double check by hitting Unite. And what tipped me off to this is these two boxes right here were not highlighted, and we need to use those. So there's something going on, but whatever. I don't have time to figure it out. Pathfinder is like Jesus. He'll show you the way. So you click that, boom, boom. Now you can do this. Instead of having the stroke half on, half off, you can put it all on and bring it inside. And let me reduce this. And now you can see everything is dead on the edge where we want it. And you can also go back in, and I usually do this, is I'll go back around, and I do this by holding the space bar, the hotkey, the hand thing. So I can just click and drag, and we go all around the shape, and then we do this. Now, if you're not comfortable with doing this, and you're just learning, and you're like, I'm not ready yet to balls up, go all the way to the edge like this. I don't know about that life. It's kind of crazy, because if you mess up, well, you messed up. And this is literally what I do. I just go around and I tweak it. And take the time to do this right, and then you'll never have to make another template again for this Decepticon claw, because you can always have this to go back to, unless it's not the same. I don't know. And you can see here that's a little off. It's a little hanging off the edge there. So hit A, and then drag that node down a little bit. And one thing that may help, because now we're getting like into pixelization, if you go back to selection and anchor display, you drop this bad boy to 1, this should allow you to literally move pixel for pixel. And I'm confident in, like, this is just as precise as in my pictures. If I pulled this picture from something online, and I'm going to show you a method that you can use if you're not confident in the photos you're using, to at least give you a little wiggle room for error. Alright, so we got that. But like I said, so back from the stroke panel, the default is this. Right in the middle. This align stroke to inside is the technical term, but I'll pop it all in. And that's what I do with all my stuff. When I'm designing like templates and everything else, I would say 99.9% of the stuff, if you're purchasing from me, this is how the stroke is when you open it. You may not realize it, but that's how it is. You can also go outside, but that doesn't really help us here at all, so irrelevant. But the inside is very important. This keeps it all exactly where it needs to be. Now, if you're not confident, I see some more comments. I'll check here in a second. I'm sorry. I'm not good at this at all. I don't know if I've ever done a live tutorial before. I haven't done it from the shop, that's for sure. So, bear with me. But anyways, so if you're not confident, you're like, I would like a little wiggle room. I don't want it right on the edge. I'm like, okay. I'm going to make this thin again real quick. But you have the perfect positioning. So you could also use this as a tool for when you're positioning your artwork using EasyCAD or whatever you're using. This will narrow it down if you have artwork on the inside that isn't all the way to the border. That's what I do to kind of get things like right, in the general area. Alright, so now watch this. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see. I'll make it thicker for the... Yeah, alright. So, object, path, offset path. Well, that goes on the outside. That doesn't help. It's okay. click on the offset right before the 0 and hit the minus. Watch what happens. When you do that, click on this box. You're not going to change anything, but that'll activate it, and then boom, inside, and hit OK. Now this is like your positioning thing. You're not even going to use this to put artwork in. This just shows you the edge of the object that you have now. Now you have this, which doesn't go to the edge, and it'll give you some wiggle room for you know, if your stuff is a little off or isn't perfect. And you could do this multiple times, so go ahead, let's do that again. Path, offset, and then once you do it once in the file you're working on, it'll auto do it like you had last time. So this time, you know, like, all right, cool, okay. Now you're like, well, whatever. This is where the other stroke box comes into play. This is where you can get a little fancy with it. It's all preference, but what I usually do is I'll make this outside stroke, I'll make it a little bit thicker, say 5, and then you can play around with these and, you know, get like a little nice accented, you know, ridge. And let me put a fill on this so y'all can see what's going on. Something like that. So you got like a little border on the border. And if you've used my stuff or seen my artwork, normally I have like a double border like this, and it's just preference. You don't have to do it this way. It just keeps it clean. But it also, like I said, you don't have to use this outside one for design. But I save it so when you're lining all your stuff up at the end of the day and it's going to your laser, that'll give you a positioning to where, like, once it's the right size, it should all be perfect on that edge. So whatever artwork you have inside of it that doesn't go to the edge will be exactly where it needs to be. Doing the offset gives you wiggle room. I do that as well. Alright, so we got that. Now that's a template, so you can do whatever you want with it. I'll play with some stuff later with my other assets. I want to move on to the next thing. But biggest takeaways, hopefully y'all understood, was like, if you're going on a curve, you don't have to curve it. You can go ahead and angle it, hit A, click on that angle, drag it to curve. It gives you a little more control. Also, when you do a curve, say, oh, I dragged the curve. Alright, it's going to automatically want to do another curve. You don't have to. Don't let the software tell you what to do. Click on that node, and then it'll be straight again. You'll have options where you do. Now, one thing I didn't kind of mention, but you want to use the least amount of nodes as possible. So you saw me dragging around. Like, you could do this like this way. Is instead of doing 1 or 2, you can do 5. But if you ever need to come back and tweak it a little bit, it's a lot easier to straighten the line out if it's not a lot of things going on. But if you have a lot of nodes, then you're limited, and then you're just wasting more time because you'd have to go back and you're like, alright, was that no? So the less nodes, the better. And this is for fine-tuning things and tweaking things to get right in the future to save you time. Super fast, like Sonic the Hedgehog. Keep up, bro. Alright, so there's that. Now let's go ahead and open a new document. We're going to kind of do the same thing we did with the Decepticon claw. And this is where we get to the gun stuff. Now you get your pictures. These are ones that I've taken. I figured I'd go over this because this is another thing I've seen that's been driving me nuts. How I do slides, sort of. It saves me a lot of time. So I figured this is why I'm like here today, because I'm like, all right, y'all, it just drive me nuts. Everybody's doing it. All right, so go ahead. I'm gonna mask these to get rid of the dead air space. And yes, I took these pictures as well. I just got this little bitty rock island in. I was like, lay it out. Let's see. And you can get a good judge on like how big it is. If you look, I usually like to work around down here. Oh, you can't see it. Show you. All right, so down here it'll show you the percentage that you're like zoomed in. I like to usually be around 100, but I usually like to create my templates around being zoomed in like this area. So what you do, like I said before, is don't be afraid to work big. So, and working big helps when it comes down to those little pixels and slight adjustments of things you want to do. Now you'll have that black box from the artboard. Click on the artboard tab and just drag the artboard to bigger. And don't worry about size and everything else. The other thing I mentioned before was, like, if you have a stroke and you have the template set to where you want it, let me do it on this one. So if I copy this and paste it, say I need to size it now to a smaller size. When I do it, it'll keep it'll keep the same ratio of the thickness and everything else. If you don't check those boxes in the preferences, in general, if you turn these off, then when you go to change the size later, when you make it bigger or smaller, see, it changes it for you. It keeps it, yeah, it's not like where you shit. And it's like not a huge deal, but if you have your artwork how you want it later down in the process here, and you start moving things and sizing, and because then you're really restricting yourself. If you do size it first thing, you're restricting yourself on a lot of freedom. But I mean, I never have those unchecked. It's just, it makes sense to me. So scale corners, scale strokes and effects, have those. I know I've said that probably like 20 times, but it's important because you'll do something, especially if you're learning. If you didn't have those and you're like, why is it doing this? It's frustrating or whatever, and you just spend an hour designing something, you're just gonna get frustrated. And so I'm here to save you some time. Alright, so we get these. Let's go ahead and make a second layer. I don't like the red for the outline for my strokes template, so I put it on the bottom, send these to that layer, lock it, move to the blue. And see, like here, we're on 160, that's what it says at the bottom. And that's how I dig it. I don't know, it's preference. You don't have to do it this way. This is, like I said, posting this yesterday about the tutorial, this is how I do it. If you don't want to do it this way, that's cool. But this is, this is how I do it. I mean, it works for me. Alright, so we get this, it's not a full-size 1911, but it's okay. And that's good it's this way, because it's a little bit different. Everybody keeps doing 1911. So I'm going to click on the corner, get this process started. And then, like, I'm clicking, and it's not on the edge where I want it. And this is where I'm like, okay. So I click it, and then zoom all the way in. You can zoom all the way. Let's put a stroke on it. Alright. Plug in. Alright, cool. Now zoom back out. And if you learn your hotkeys, this is easier. So Z is, and then when you hit Z, click the left button and then move your mouse. Just swoop to the right, swoop to the left, up, down, side to side. You'll get it. So that's what I'm doing. And then the mouse. P. Hit the hotkey P. Alright, let's move on. Now, this right here is what's driving. Oh my god! Yesterday, I'm like, I'm making it. Okay, so some people will go around and then they'll be like, all right, let's do this part first, and then we'll go around. Yes, you can do that, sure, but don't, because you could make a mistake or something go wrong, and I have a way to. It makes it just a little bit better. All right, so, but you are gonna click right here. You're going to click right there, and you're going to set a node down. Let's drag around the edge. Okay, now, let's click that again. We're going to go to this spot. You're probably asking yourself, well, why are you doing that? I don't want to engrave over that. I want my template. That's fine. Just wait. This is fun part. Hopefully I'm still alive. My internet didn't crash or anything. Alright, so now we got that node. Now let's go over here to the end. Sometimes on these, you just need to tweak it a little bit. So I'm doing that. And then I'm going to speed up a little bit. It's not going to be perfect, so don't judge me. But there, let me make this a little bit thicker so y'all can see. And sometimes you want to move it just a little bit. If you zoom in, it'll let you do it. Alright, I'm not going to round that off just yet. And this is how I've done so many 1911 slides. But when I'm doing these notches, I do that. We'll get back to it. I do that. Click another node here. Don't go over the serrations yet. There's a reason for that. So click there. You have that. You can drag yourself over a little bit. So you're going to re-hit P. Click on the node. Click on this edge. There's a reason for this, and I'm going to get to it. Now here, you can do it one or two ways. I'm going to show you. We'll do it this way. So, alright, you need a little hump. You just do this. Click, drag, you get your hump. Here, just follow along the edge. If I usually go back and round these off instead of doing it while I'm there, because it's kind of frustrating. The 1911s, most of them have this like S. Let me zoom in a little bit. It's always like this, because I guess you need it to not be stuck. But what I do is I don't round this off yet, but I click in the center right here, and then down here. Now, and then the other thing too is this is where I just made a mistake, but the illusion of it looks like the slide goes all the way down, but that's kind of under. You don't want to engrave on that. I mean, I guess you could, or you could just do the whole thing. But so right here, this is a good thing. What I do is we have this like S. Is I click this node, hold shift, click this node, and you'll see here 2 circles pop up. Do I need to zoom in more? Yeah. Alright, let me just do that again. Alright, so push A, the hotkey for the white arrow, click this node, hold shift, click this node, and you'll have 2 circles that pop up. Click either one of those, hold and drag, and that'll, but it does it, it gets it kind of where it needs to be. And this is where you click this node, and this is where you make your fine adjustments. Like, alright, cool. And sometimes it's a little janky, so you can go over here. The circle on the stick, it's called the shaper tool. You're not using that, but click and hold that down. And you see smooth tool. Click that. And I don't know why it's always been this way. It's bugged me. But you gotta click off, then go ahead and reselect the line, and then click on the smooth tool, and then over the area where it's janky, just click and drag, and it'll smooth it out just a little bit. And then over here, I mean, we might as well just round this off. I said I normally don't do it on here, but might as well. So round it off, click, get the circle, round it out. Alright, click, drag, round it out. Also, you could drag a box around nodes, like if you want to move more than one or whatever. Zoom in more. Oh. So click and drag a box, holding A, or the A white arrow, and it highlights them. And then that's the other thing. Working big is me clicking. These are single arrow pushes. If this was even if this was even the size, hitting that arrow make it shift a whole lot, and this is a pain in the ass. But making your stuff big gives you a little more fine-tunedness, if that's a word. I haven't seen anybody in chat in a while, so I don't know if we're live still. But I'm gonna keep going because hopefully I'm recording this as well. Oh, I think I am. Damn it! All right, so I'm gonna have to pull it. All right. I'm using Streamlabs. OBS just had an update and completely wrecked. I'm not recording, that's not good. Alright, that's my bad. So I'm gonna have to make this again. Alright, so zoom out. let's finish this slide because I want to get back to that one thing I want to show y'all. So that, and put there. Alright, and what I do sometimes is like it's not right. It's like, you know, the 1911 slides, the cheaper ones, usually they're not all exactly the same. So I got this space, I got the general curve, but I'm going to click this node, pull it down just a little bit, curve it out on that, and then curve this one out. You see the ink right here, is you can move that up just a bit, fine tune it. That's where you go back in. Like, I'll move it over just a little bit. Let's round it out, just barely, just a little bit. All right, now you see it is not. I think I had the same thing happen with the other Rock Island, where it's like not perfectly straight. So sometimes when I zoom in, let's add a node right here. Scooch it up just a pixel. I'm very particular about this. I know a lot of people don't go all the way to the edges on their slide, and that's okay. Just like on the claw, this will give you a positioning thing. Now here's the magic trick. This is the most important thing I wanted to show you guys right here. Oh no, the serrations. What have you done? What have you done? We needed 2 pieces, not 1. All right. Let's go ahead and over here in the stroke panel, let's bring the stroke to the inside. Oh, I didn't round that out. All right. I made the border super thick, so let's see what's going on. Normally, I don't do these that thick. All right, so with the template that you made selected, let's do one more. All right, now I want you to hold shift and click E. This will bring your eraser tool up. It's like a circle. Let me see it. All right, now hold the Alt button. You're not going to see anything happen, but hold it. Okay, now go up here. It's like this is the line that we need to get. So click and drag this box all the way to where it needs to be right here. Let go. Holy shit. And what that does is, instead of making, you know, you do this part first and then you make this one, is those 2 parts are both lined up how they need to be with each other, and that just makes it that much better. You can't do it other ways. This keeps everything as good as you need it to be, and that's how I do it. And I'll do that one more time, just in case, because it is kind of, you don't. All right, so go back here again. Let me turn this down a little bit. You gotta turn the opacity down so you can get a general more idea on your work. Okay, so you have your slide, and the other reason why I said, because you don't have, well, you should do. Okay, so you made these nodes. You would think, oh, why you did that? You didn't really need to make the nodes. You did, because if you don't, okay, I'm gonna show you what happens if you don't get it perfect the first time. So say you didn't get exactly on the edge. So Shift E, the circle pops up, it's the eraser. Hold down the Alt button, click and drag. Say you don't get it all the way to the edge. Okay? You're like, oh crap. It's okay. This is something that helps. So go ahead and click this node with the A white arrow, and then lock it in right over that node that you placed before. Same thing here. Same thing here. Okay. Now, if you don't place those nodes like when I showed you when we were going around, okay. Sorry. Alright, also, like, if you are using a black arrow, which is hotkey V, and you select it, and you want to see your nodes, just hit the A button, and I'll select the white arrow, but I'll also activate the visual for the nodes. Okay, so give me a second. I'm going to show you what happens when you do this without placing those nodes down. Okay, so say you don't have those. You're like, all right, time to cut out the serrations like Fragout did. Woo, this is exciting. Shift E, circle pops up. Hold Alt. Okay. Now, before you saw when you drug the nodes over it, locked in pretty easily. Well, now you have to. You don't get that extra little help. So now you gotta spend more time positioning it where it needs to be instead of already having that done. And it saves you, not a lot of time. It saves you a little bit. Also, a quick tip is if your stroke's in the way, go ahead and just move that up there and be like, all right, that's where it is. So when you click and drag, you can see where you're going. And placing those nodes before isn't a big deal, but it'll save you time over the long run, and also help you from making mistakes because you already had that placed down before. Put it right there. Also, though, what this does is that means that these two edges may not be exactly as concurrent and straight on as we had it before. Your head just exploded. Dude, I'm telling you, like, this isn't something I've known about, the whole time. I've been graphic designing for going on 12 years now, and I've been using Adobe Illustrator for about, 9 of those. This was, a halfway through revelation with other stuff. And then with the Firearms being able, this past, 3 years, these little things, they help, but, don't ask how I figured this out. I have no idea. But that's one of the things I wanted to show you, because it's the biggest thing is it saves you time, and then also it saves you, your future you, from having to worry about making mistakes and not catching them as you go. And it keeps the artwork as dead on as you need it. Now with 1911s, folks, they're like, I don't want it all over the edge. And what are you doing? That's cool. Just like I showed you a minute ago. So say you got that. And then also make sure you clicked it to bring it inside, because if you don't, part of your templates may be over on the edges and you don't want that. So bring it in nice and tight. Also, I recommend, and I do this, I'm not trying to make it weird and preachy, double check, because it's so awesome to be able to have assets that you can reliably go back to every single time. And the way to do that is just to double check, and the foundation you build everything off of, you're good to go, instead of having to go back and not change the thing. If you would have done it right the first time, it's something you always have. So let me make this thinner again. So you can go all the way, you can go thinner than 0.25, but this is what I do. This is all anal. I go pixel for pixel sometimes, especially for you guys and in the industry. I don't just get it where it looks good. No, this is what I do, and it is time consuming, but where we are spending time, I'm also showing you things you can do to make up for that down the road with little time savers. But this will also save you from frustration down the road if you do need to tweak something, or something isn't right. Then you gotta go all the way back to figure it out and fix it and everything else. And it's just you're ready to start engraving, Alright, so sometimes I want it, it won't let me, it's janky, it's here or there. I'm like, no, I don't like this software telling me what to do. I'm like, just zoom in some more. I get exactly what I want right there. And this is all looking at this, it's kind of crazy. I don't even know where you're looking. It's the more you do this, the repetition, the more you'll learn. And then your brain just kind of does this thing where you don't realize you're doing it. This is very weird showing you guys this, because my process, as you can see, it's not, but I normally don't have it that thin, because I like my thick borders and I like going to the edge. But this is where I'd also I can't show it guys on stream, but this is where I double check, and then if I need to, I'll go and look at the slide and see if there's like a weird bevel edge on the bottom of the slide or something, you know, that maybe the camera didn't pick up, but you may need to make note of. Like right here, see, we're like a pixel short. So what I'm doing, I'm just dragging a box instead of clicking each one individually and holding shift. I drag a box, and then I'm using Z to zoom in out and holding the space bar, just following along. Yeah, and see, like right here, this top of the slide was a little bit, you know, it could move. So let's add a node, pop it up a little bit, and then right here, see, I wouldn't have had to adjust this if we had it right the first time. We place those nodes. You can see right here, it's a little bit off. Just right there. You also, you know, the underside of the slide, see the shadow. But this is just me. All right, so you're not going to the edge anyway. You don't really care. And I'm like, cool. So let's not do that. So I'm gonna make this thicker because we're gonna have a little buffer zone. So object, path, offset path. Since I haven't closed out Adobe Illustrator, it automatically loads in. You don't have to keep it this size. You can do negative point. You know, we'll just take out that. See how it looks. And then if you're ever changing it, instead of clicking OK and then letting it change and going back, say we want to make this 0.2, just click the empty void in this box. It'll preview. Like, all right, that looks good. Okay. And then, like I said, here now you get your positioning where you save this for the end of the trip when you're at the laser. And it just helps you line up before you line up the artwork you're engraving. If that makes sense. So fill this in. Because sometimes, especially like, I don't know, explain it, like not perfectly circle shapes or whatever else, with that positioning thing, like you can tell, like, because you did the perfect edge on it. So your positioning light should be perfectly on that edge. And then if it's not right, you'll see it off the edge. But that means also, if you prepped your artwork correctly, that the artwork is perfectly where it needs to be. And then you don't have to, like, because sometimes, like, if you make a coin or something and you just pop it in the middle and you're like, yeah, it looks good, and then you realize after you laser it, it's a little bit off center. It's just the way to be able to center things easier. How I do it. There may be easier ways. I have no idea. And what I usually do with the positioning lines is, like, I'll make it a different color stroke, and then also I'll make a different layer, and I'll name it positioning, and then I'll lock it. I'll send it to the layer, lock it, forget about it, and then we'll grab it on the way out. So with this, like with me and how I lay out stuff, I like the double buffered borders, so I can have my scrolls like overlap. You know, give it that, like, you know, depth type thing. I don't want it that thick, so let's go back to 1. And then you got this, and then also this is where you can go back to your stroke panel and play around. You know, there's no way, like, specific way, just however you want to make it. Like, let me pop this on the outside, let me pop this one on the outside, or you can do, you know, one on the inside. I feel like I'm at a dance hall. Alright, there we go. I like that. That looks good. You don't have to worry about going off the edges, because also, like, when you do the 6-step prep and you expand and all that stuff, that solidifies where your stroke is. So if it's over the edge, well, you're going to be engraving over the edge if that's the artwork you're using. But I like to look at that. So, and then basically all I did was we popped in the offset, and then I played in this panel over here, these 3 boxes, the align stroke. There's one where it's in the center, and then also, like, you can tell as well, I don't know if y'all can see that blue line, like when you have this selected, you can tell, but if you move like the inside, the blue line is now on this side. And then in the center, how you know if yours is just the default is like your line will be in the center of the stroke instead of the outside. I don't know if that makes sense or if that's helpful at all, but it's just, you know. So, all right, cool beans. That's awesome. And then, like I said, like once you have your templates done, you know, the other thing that I like to do is I like to stack, you know, projects. So like once I'd have my templates done, I don't automatically go and design an engraving design on this and go ham. I will save this, and then I'll save a copy of it, and that's just a generic thing that I'll never touch again. So, you know, I should name it. Yeah. So also one thing I'll go back to, because I haven't done it since I've been here, is you need to save this file a long time ago. I don't plan on using this artwork, so I wasn't thinking about it. But I'm usually saving, so RI 1911 simple. That's what I call this. And then once you okay, and then now file, I'm gonna go ahead and save a copy automatically. Oh, still saving. All right, save a copy, save. And then also, if you're using photos or assets or whatever else, go ahead in the copy. You don't have to do this on the main one. But just in case you ever have data corruption or you lose a file or something else down the road when you try to pull it up and they can't access like the photo you used, it won't load. But if you hit include linked files in your copies, that'll save that. So if it ever happens, you don't have to worry about, you know, oh shit, I lost a photo. It'll be there. And saving a copy just saves a copy. You're still in that same first document that you saved. If that makes sense. So now if I was to design like a layout, we're gonna call this one the double decker. I don't know why, I'm just making this up as I go. So now I'm gonna save as, and now this is for double decker. Can't spell right now. Now I'm gonna name this file double decker. Whatever. So now you save this. Okay. So now, like, if I was to design and everything else, if I was to ruin this and just have a bad time, I can always go, oh shit, I still got that template I made. So I'm gonna open. Alright, oh, there's that template. Hell yeah. I'm glad I saved it there. That's great. That's something you can always default back to. And it's because you didn't just design everything in that same file, you know, stage this out. So now we're going to be on stage 2. This was like in my other tutorials how I meant like don't work in your source files, because like, yeah, it's not the end of the world, but you know, copy and paste whatever you're trying to use into a new document and keep the files pure. It'll save you time. You know, if you do lose your files or you just get weird with it where you can't go back, you know, you always have the zip file that you downloaded, and if you lost that, you can always email me. I can send you your files. You know, things happen though. An asteroid may fly down. I'm gone. The vault's gone. Everything's gone. Good luck. Hopefully you backed up your files. So, good morning from India. I got my brother's coin here. Check this out. You can't really do it. This camera sucks. But yeah, that's the, I don't know what it's called. New Delhi. Okay, so I got a little sidetracked. I don't plan on doing like a whole gun right now. I'm just trying to give you all the fun facts that I was thinking of yesterday. Sometimes, like I said, if you make it big, it really helps. Alright, so now we're in this file. I don't really know. Let's just act like we have artwork and design because I don't feel like doing that right now. So you're ready to go, like you've designed. I gotta do something or it's gonna look stupid. Alright, hang on. There's be a good example here. Like, oh, I brought Fragout scroll bundles. Let me go pull that right up. This is how much fun it is. So this is what you can do now. I kind of got the template part of the way. The pen tool, hotkeys, work big, zoom in. Don't let the software tell you what to do. And also, like with the cutout, using the eraser tool and the alt button. That is probably like the most. I use that all the time on different things. Other things that you can do as well. And this, yeah, okay. Let me do this because this be kind of. This will be good to show you guys. All right, so I'm not gonna get too perfect with this, but let's just say, okay, right here you have all this. It's whatever. If you're kind of in a hurry and need to go, this is what you can do. Clicking around, get the generic areas where you're going. Okay. Alright, yeah, so sometimes when you're working like an I do and you zoom in all that, it's kind of sucks because when you zoom in you lose your P, but just click it somewhere and then let's drag it in the spot. And like I showed y'all before, go ahead and place these nodes down for the future you. And click on that node. Let's go over here. Let's drop another one. Let's drop in nodes. And just click and go. Click and go. Alright, let's remove that center. I've seen a few tutorials where people are working and they're making their templates with the fill. It's just in the way. Don't do that. Click. Alright, make that node. Connect. And some people, why are you doing that? Well, I just showed you. Now select it. Let's bring the stroke inside. Shift. Hold shift. Click E. Circle pops up. Hold down the Alt button. You're not going to notice anything going on. This is unlocks the superpower. Click and drag. And you can go to the edge, or you can do it before the edge, and it's okay. You already set those nodes down. And then zoom all the way in. Just line that up just right on the spot. Right there. Hold the space bar, click and drag, click and drag, click and drag. You're like, so also don't get false confidence. Sometimes you have this, oh, it looks good. No. Why don't you go ahead and pull that back and double check. Like, oh, let's move this over to the right just a little bit. There you go. Alright, click and drag, click and drag. You can see this zooming in. You can see there's a little sliver there. So let's go ahead, hit A, drag a box around that. Let's get it right there. Boom. That's on the money. On the money. Alright. A. Click and drag. Let's zoom in some more. Look at that. There's nodes all over the place. We didn't lock that in. It's okay. And then if you can't tell, I can't tell if that's the under part of the slide or not. There we go. And that's the cool part about zooming in is like even with the pixels you can tell when you're just a little off. Let's pull this bad boy down. Alright. Circle. Smooth it out a little bit. Click and drag, space bar. Pull that down. Zoom in. Right there. Smooth out just a little bit. Holy smokes. Shane White Cloud. Thank you, sir. That's awesome. Are you telling me to stop? What is that? I still plan to do the Q&A part after this. You know, I just getting there. Alright, so there. It's weird because I'm trying to speed up, but at the same time, it's weird for me. Like, I may end up using these. Alright, so you see here that not all 1911s are special. They're like, you know, the kids that were dropped on their head. They're going to have little things off. Oh! Oh! Oh, crap. Alright, you didn't really miss much. How far back was I? Shit. Okay. So basically, I just went over everything that I went over before. Crap, how far back was I? Can someone go back? Tell me where I was. You don't see? I haven't got to the thing I was going to show you all before making this slide. I'm sorry. You all excited? Was I just making the template, or was I on the other side of the slide? Shit. All right. You know, I'm sorry if people are watching. We're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna redo this whole side right here. Like, all right. So this is a good spot. Where's my beverage? Oh, the Toshiba thing. I don't remember what part I was at. Cool. I apologize. Good thing I looked at chat. I saw the stop hands. I'm glad I asked. Okay. Alright. So, like I said, you didn't miss out on what I wanted to show you, but I'm going to go ahead and redo this side of the slide. Because I did get a little carried away. Okay, so we got our slide here. Let's hit P, the hotkey. Click the corner. Let's get this ball going. Even though we're going to go over the serrations, you want to place a node here for future you. Okay, and then click that node, because when you zoom out, it'll lose your ability to make nodes. So you just click on that last node, and then that line will pop back up, and you know you're good to go. So make a node here. No, I don't mind. I got nothing else to do right now, so I don't mind redoing this. I'm not in a hurry. All right. And like I was saying before with 1911s, like the special kid, you could tell he got dropped on his head when he was younger. He's not all there. 1911 slides sometimes have these little, so, but we can get to that later. Oh, hit P. Where's my superpower go? So, I'm not going to worry about placing a node there yet. Let's go ahead and hit this corner, because I like this corner, because it's more defined than that one. So, and like when you zoom in and out, you're gonna lose your node dropping ability. So just click on that last one. All right, it's not exactly where I want it. We'll get there in a little bit. But so we're gonna go over this. I'm gonna show you why. Kind of like the serrations thing. And normally, like, I'm kind of going slower than I normally do. But I guess a good example. So say you're not paying attention and you click and you're like, oh no, what happened? Just go ahead and, like, if you're clicked where you want to be, go ahead and click on that last node and it'll connect it, so at least you don't lose that time. I'm using a mouse. Yeah, that was one thing I was gonna write down. Only time I ever use a tablet is if I'm drawing. I mouse and keyboard, everything else. Right now, mouse and keyboard. There is a time and place when I do use my tablet to make templates. These times would be like with modules, the lowers on like locks and stuff. That's where this doesn't really flow and get how I like to make the shapes. But yeah, mouse and keyboard 90% of the time. Only time I'm ever using my tablet is if I'm drawing, like in my time-lapse videos. You get all the F's, as in fantastic. Alright, so let me speed this up just a little bit so I don't drag on too long, because I haven't got to what I want to show y'all. So click and drag, holding the space bar, place a node here, because our future you is going to need it. And then right there, oh, it's a little low, so zoom in, because we can. No one tells us we can't. Put right there, boom. And then the other thing is you can't go inside with the stroke until you complete the shape. So this is where, you doing this over time, you'll go to realize, like, where I placed the line is right on the edge, but the stroke is still over. But I know from what I'm going to be doing here in a minute, making it pop inside, that'll be right on the edge. If you don't do that, then your template isn't correct. If you just keep your stroke with the default. Alright, boom, 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 click, drag. Like I said, sometimes I'll drag this because I don't feel like zooming back out. So I'll click, drag. It's not right, but that's okay. So boom, hit A, and then you can adjust it. And that keeps me zoomed in. I don't have to worry about zooming back out. Let's go ahead and pop this inside using the stroke panel and the align stroke buttons. These are magical. I love these buttons. They're just as important as like in the other tutorials when I go over the Pathfinder tools. They're just awesome little nuggets of helpfulness. I like it. I don't know what that was. Alright, so let's adjust that. Alright, now here's the magic trick I showed a minute ago on the other part of the slide. So, click and drag, select the artwork, or click it however you want to select it. Hold shift, push E, the circle pops up. He's here, yeah. Alright, now hold down the Alt button. Nothing will change, but hold down the Alt button. Now click and drag. And then release. Both. This lines it up. So instead of doing this, that part, then coming over here and doing this, and this, saves you a little bit of time, but it also makes sure that both pieces are, more closer to being true. Alright, so now here's this thing. Now you're like, oh, now you done did it. You should just go. Alright, so here's what you're going to do. This is what I usually do. So I'll find like a good edge. So this node right here. Alright, so same thing. Shift E. And we're going to cut a little shape out. So I'm dragging a box. I'm going to drag this box all the way to like right down the edge. I like that. That looks good. Like, why? It looks like shit. But I'm going to show you why. Okay, so first thing, I see I can round this corner off. So hit A, click this node, circle pops up, click and drag the circle, get it just right. And that gives you that perfect curve. When you need that, like, when it says something like an odd curve, gets it just right. Don't worry about clicking and dragging. Alright, you'll see here. Alright, so it's straight. You want to keep that the same, but I want to raise this up a little bit, right? So let's go ahead and add a node here, and that'll anchor this line. So when I want to adjust this, I'll click. I'm going to bring that up just a little bit. And this is where I said repetition, because the only way I know how to do this is just because I've done this so many times. I know I need to position this up just a little bit so I can get the perfect curve. And then with here, like I said, I can't really see that corner, so I'm going to double check. I'm like, alright, so we're going to round it off. It's not letting me get exactly where I want it, so boom, zoom in, get that pixel. It may not be noticeable, no one will ever know, but you'll know. Alright, so here, I want to double check the line that's behind here. It looks bright, but I'm going to double check, so click the node, pull it out. Alright. And then that looks good. And then I'm gonna bring that there. And then I'm gonna anchor right here. This slide's odd. So I place the anchor node right here, bring this up, and then walk it in. That looks about right. Click and drag. Placing the node here. So like the slide is just weird. So they just made a weird molds. Make it smaller, you can see. Go weird. How they made that. Round this off. Yeah, just a little bit. So it all flows. Sometimes if you have like abrupt corners, it's going to be like the first thing you look at, or anybody would look at when they're looking at your gun. And you don't want it. You want them to continuously like flow over the artwork, the whole piece, not pick out single individual sections. It's kind of like going to like if you go to an art show or gallery, you want constant flow. constant flow in that person's mind. You don't want it to stop. So it's like hypnosis. I don't know if that makes sense. You just tweak it. This slide is weird as shit, I'm not gonna lie. Like, if you don't zoom in and get it, like, it wouldn't be this finesse, like why I'm so getting it just right. But I don't know, Rock Island, they like to stick their guns in trees anyways, so I don't know what to tell you. Like right here, like you can tell, like we got that perfect line. It shouldn't be, but I don't make gun slides, so maybe their process, there's different ways of not having flaws, I guess. It's Rock Island, what do you think? Just add a node, compensate for it. And then if you're one of those people who don't go to the edge anyways, you don't have to get this fine-tuned detailed with it. But I recommend doing it, because at least you'll have it. One, even if you don't need it, you may in the future be like, I'm glad I made that. Just save me some time. Look at that. But also for positioning, when you're in your laser lighting it up. Always curve out this on the 1911 slides. Always curve that out just a little bit. This is always an awkward curve. Just a little bit. And get that. And then put up a little bit. Alright. So, like I mentioned on the other one. So basically the takeaway from this was you don't have to while you're making the first initial shape of the slide, you don't have to stop and then go ahead and cut out around it. You can always, and it'll help keep your stuff, you know, locked in good. But it's more enjoyable to do it this way. So yeah, so you have your shapes, and then you use the eraser tool and the hidden alt superpower, cut out those areas, and then you can round out the corners and fine tune your heart's content. Alright, so there's that. But, you know, and then, like I said, like if you're not going to the edge, that's even better. So you got a positioning layer. Let's go ahead and do the offset. And doing it this way too, instead of starting like inside the slide, and I'll show you in a second, this will get it to where, like, so I don't know how to explain it. So basically, if you make templates, I'm gonna show you. Okay, yeah. Alright, so if you make templates and you start on the inside and you're doing it like this, I mean, and that's cool. I mean, you can, but there is a good chance that that it won't be constant, you know, the same exact distance to the edge with your artwork. And so you just, you know, you can get it perfectly, but you're going to spend so much time doing it this way to where if you would have followed the border of the slide like I showed, like how we've been doing, and then you do the offset to the inside, it's going to be perfect all the way around every time. That'll never, it's something I never have to worry about, because I know, you know, so, you know, it's not like, you know, like that. I don't want to explain it. Let me see. So if you didn't have that, then you're like, there's a good chance, like, well, it's locking because the thing. But you could have it just a little bit, like, too high on the top, and then there's bigger space on the bottom. This is something you don't ever have to worry about doing it this way. And you can always go deeper. Let's offset one more time. Path. You go to object, path, offset path. If you don't have it, the negative, if you're doing this for the first time, the only reason why it's staying there is because I haven't closed out the software. But the default is positive. But if you add in the negative, then I'll pop in that one. And then this is where you can have fun with it. So let's go ahead. This is usually around when I fill it. Also, like if you wanted to, like say there's the logo or text or whatever else, the reason why I say I make the positioning layers, because I can go back to that, which is over here. As you can see, I don't have it there, but I have the layer. I don't like looking at it. It's in the way. It's not part of the artwork, so that's why I stick it in there. But when I want to go back, here, Oh, there's nothing on the side. All right, so say there is a logo part in the slide. Well, I'm gonna go back to my positioning part here and say the wording is right there. So right here, I'm gonna line that up, and the only thing I do at this point is I send it away with my positioning layer. We'll get back to that later. That locks in the space, the area where the shit is that you're gonna have to cut out later. If that makes sense. I don't know. Do you ever just run your fiber? Sometimes, yeah. Like with this thing I got in there right now, I tried something a little different with this one. I'm trying to utilize the functionality of this damn machine I bought. So it automated kind of the two piece instead of doing one piece at a time on this wrench. Like I'm doing hand signs, but this wrench here, instead of doing one piece and then moving like I did on the other side, I had it because I have X, Y, and Z motorized axis. So I set the first part, locked it in, and then I moved the laser to the second part, kept the wrench in the same place. I'm not comfortable with this process at all. I've never really done it. I'm not good at it. So I did do the first pass, and you'll see in the time-lapse video. I'll do the first pass to make sure, because that's something you can kind of get away with if it's not perfect. I also do that with the axes and everything else, because like with the that CTRK axe I just finished up, like when you're doing the blades, if you have the blade level, then your focus is not going to be right. You're going to lose power, and it's not. You want to position the blade to where, you know, the like high points are all kind of the same spot. So sometimes your blade's a little bit lower or whatever else. But for me to also double check the leveling and my focus is I'll do a clean pass first, and you can see where like if it loses power somewhere, that means you don't have it, you know, angled just how you need it. So you tweak that just a little bit here and there. You can see me do that in that axe video I just did it like last week. And then once you have it, it's constant, it all looks, you know, all the same in that area. That's how you know you're good to go. Well, it's not a 6x6 bed. It's like I don't even know. It's in millimeters. But let me finish this up, and then I'll get to questions, because I'll get, you know, we're pretty much done. Like I said, the basic things I wanted to show you guys was how to use that cutout tool, and then the node placements. I don't really know. I'm not good at this, so hopefully that was informative. I do need like a 5-minute break, and then we can get into Q&A. Here's my Decepticon claw. It's not a carpet puller. It's an alien relic. But yeah, so go ahead, if you're anybody's still here watching, go ahead and think of some questions that you may have. When I come back, I'll try to answer some, and I can show you real time working through your question. So we'll do this. We'll do that for like 30 minutes if y'all want to do that. I haven't eaten dinner yet, so I'm kind of hungry. So, but yeah, gather your questions, and then I'll be back. Oh. One thing for those who may feel blue balled in a way, in regards to like, well, you didn't finish good design. All right, so at this point, if y'all just want to go ahead and go with the template that I just showed y'all how to make, go to the playlist on YouTube that I have with my tutorials. Depending on what you're trying to do, if you're using one of my like borderless patterns vector bundles, I got tutorials for that. If you are making your own stuff, watch the clipping mask tutorial that I made, and I'll show you, with the templates that you made, how to implement things inside of that, and then carry on to your laser. Also, the stacking tutorial, same kind of deal. It'll show you how to position your artwork with the templates you got. Doesn't have to be mine. You get the one you just made, and you're good to go. And then you finalize with the 6-step prep, which is the top tutorial on that playlist. And no matter whose artwork you got, mine, someone else's, the artwork you made, it'll fix any issues you could ever run into with that artwork before going to your laser. Easy peasy. So if y'all want to roll out now, or if you feel like, well, wait, you didn't finish, there you go. I can make another tutorial another time, run through the whole thing. The biggest thing I wanted to hit on here was how to make these, and the little tips and tricks you can do to make a good, solid asset to use for your future projects. But yeah, give me like 3 minutes. I have a bad habit. I do smoke. I need a cigarette. And then and I'll be right back, and then I'll Q&A this thing. I've been wanting to do a Q&A type live stream tutorial for forever. This is the first time, so we're definitely gonna do that, and hopefully it'll be helpful. So be right back though. I need to smoke. Hello. me pull up the chat here. OCD triggered. I'm prepping for laser work, sanding, etc. I don't have any videos like that, but I can add that to the, I don't mind, trying to make one in the future for prepping. Thank you, Alaska Air Guns. 50-watt races. The JPT, I don't know the exact specifics between the races and the JPTs. I just know JPT is like name brand. Races is like Walmart brand. That's how I kind of look at it. I don't really know. I'm not the guy to answer that question. Both are good machines. I've known everybody has both of those. Show me how to put the borderless patterns in the template. I can, yes. I do have a tutorial, but let's go ahead and I'll show some, like maybe a new person here. Be like, you'll buy the stuff off the whatever. Alright, so say you have my bundle. Open. Or go where you saved it. This is what I call the vault. Alright, let me find where I saved the files. It's been a while since I pulled them up. Alright, so like when you pull up the borderless vector patterns bundle, you'll see like set 1, set 2, set 3. That's how I broke it down. Open that first one. It'll take a minute to load. Alright. Now, I'm going to pick a pattern I want to use. Texas, yeah, alright, so Texas is the one I want to use. So I select it, copy, paste. When you paste it into a document you're working in, which is not your source template file, remember, you saved in layers. So this is the customer, whatever. Save it in here. Open your swatches and you'll see it automatically loads. Now you may see, well, I want it smaller. Double click on the swatch. It'll pull up the how you can edit it. So what I recommend doing is make sure size tile to art is unchecked if you're trying to make it smaller. Size it down and then click that where it's size tile to art. Zoom in so you see what you're doing. Once you click that, unclick it because it's usually not in the perfect spot. Make it a little bit smaller again so you get that space. Hit done. Now we got a smaller. So now you click on like the inside thing. I usually copy and paste on top because I want to keep that lower line there. But you don't have to. But then you just click the swatch. Make sure that, and if you go back and watch my tutorials, I think in the beginner's one, I go over these boxes right here on the right and which ones correlate to another, because if you click on the swatch, okay, and you don't have the right box on top of the other, and you click it, you're gonna get that. And that is a common issue I've seen people run into. It's not like an issue. It's just, you didn't have the right thing selected. So, easiest way to go about, like, oops, Control Z, goes back to that. Make sure when you're trying to do a fill, that your fill box is on top of the stroke box. Whatever box is in front is the one that you're going to be manipulating. So in this case, the fill's on top, does the fill. You still have the stroke there, good to go. Same thing here. I fill this, my fill box is on top, I click that. Then carry on, 6-step prep, good to go. Yes, with the one color negative, or what was your comment? I just saw it. You explain the differences when to use a one color, two color negative, or one color. Yes. I guess a good example would be a real life example I have right now in my laser, which y'all be interested in seeing. Let me pull this up. I think my cameras need to be reactivated. Hang on one second. Alright, so there's that. Second one there. I'm going to have to switch to my wireless microphone so I can show you out in the software I have. I don't even have it pulled up. Okay, I kind of do. Okay, so you see the dark blue color on like this example right here? That is how, like when you open my files and you see like one color. That's the one color. Now the one color negative would be the light color blue, and that's how I have it in my software. It's what the machine came with. It's not the same that y'all have, but same concept. So basically, and I'm going to show you the difference. So on this wrench, what you see here, see the dark color? That's the one color. That's what I used for that. Now there's a lighter color in there, and that's what I use the one color negative for. Is and I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you so you can kind of get it. So like it. I don't know. If you've watched my time-lapse videos, it kind of. Let me pull. No, I'm weird. No, I have to be on here. I talk about my hands. If you watch my time-lapse videos, you see like sometimes like because you don't have to use it, but it helps see where things are going, and then sometimes it does help with post laser work. Like when you go back, I don't know how to explain it. Okay. Let me state this. A lot of people get frustrated with me because I'm like, what kind of laser do you have? I'm like, it's a Mitsubishi. They're like, no, it's not. I hate you. I get it. I'm not trying to be a dick, and I'm not trying to hide a secret from anybody. Like, keep it. Nuh-uh. I never expected to buy a machine where I'd have to tell people not to buy it, and I'd love to be able to recommend this machine. It's not about money or being like sponsored, or it's not even that. It's just like how to put this. Don't buy it. It's a Trotec. It's a Trotec 1300. If you have all the money in the world to spend, go ahead. But you're not gonna have a good time. I didn't have all the money. I spent my life savings on this thing. It's not the machine that I'm disappointed with. It's the manufacturer who builds and sells the machine. If you're in a different country, you may have a different experience. It's all compartmentalized in different countries. If you buy one, you're on your own. Even if you pay for training, you're on your own. This past year, and I'm not bashing them, it's whatever at this point. It's just there are way better options out there, especially for your first laser. And I'd hate to see somebody spend this money and end up in the situation I was in. I was in a weird spot where it was a possibility I looked at, like if things go bad, at least blah blah A B C D E I have set up, and that was exactly. I'm glad, and I could make this work. I can't say the same for other people. If I was in any other business's position where I had to start doing projects to pay for the bills, like I can't sit here for a year and I gotta take projects on. Like, I think this is where the U.S. side was lacking, is they're used to their customers not having the time to, like, you can't afford to, you can't run a business for a year for not doing anything. You guys start taking on projects and everything, so you would just eventually say fuck it, or permafrost, but and then and then just handle it yourself. or sell the machine, which a lot of people have done after they bought it because they just can't use it. And as a business like a sign shop or print shop or engraving shop, you have to start turning out projects to pay the bills. I was in a weird position where this isn't my main business, so I could have floated it worst case scenario, and that's what happened. But if you buy it, you're on your own. Like, I could help. I'm not gonna say I will. I will not help you if you buy this machine because I don't want anybody to buy this machine. You could buy it for like your second machine, sure, why not? But if you're getting into this, I could have bought 15 JPT 50s for the price I paid for this thing. It's just, I don't want to see anybody in a bad situation. And that's why I don't recommend this machine. That's why I avoid answering the question, because I get the idea like, ooh, he's got this one. That's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did. There are like 4 people in this country who have this machine. I was like, what is this mystery? Why? Because the same exact thing when people would ask other people who I know have this machine, they wouldn't answer that question, and they would beat around the bush. Now I know why. Now I will say, I love this machine. It's taken me a year, and I still haven't, and I bought this machine for one particular reason, and I still haven't been able to do it yet. I think it's potentially able to do what I was told it could do specifically. If not, at the end of the day, it's a decent machine. I made the gamble on it. I'm okay. I could handle that worst case scenario. I just don't want to see anybody disappointed buying one of these things. Don't buy one. Not for your first one. Or if you don't want to listen to me and you buy one, that's fine. Just don't come to me asking for help, because I've been on my own this past year figuring this thing out by myself. I've literally gotten, like, I got asked a question in the manufacturer, they would tell me the complete wrong and opposite answer and lead me down a way that was just so, like, why even give me that answer? They could have said, I don't know. That's what I've had to deal with. And I'm not bashing them. They're good dudes, good people. I expected more. I've never bought something and been so disappointed. I paid cash for this thing, so I was expecting more. If I was in a spot where I could promote this 100%, and know my customers will be handled and taken care of and on a good path for a future, I'd recommend the shit of it. I wouldn't take paid promotions for it. I would do that for free if I honestly thought that. But don't buy it. Just don't. Please don't buy it. Yeah. But that was the other thing. I made a video to kind of explain like what I went through, because looking at Trotec, you're like, ooh, Laser Dave, CO2, it's popping. You buy a fiber and you realize, where is everybody? It's a CO2 party. Yeah, I didn't realize that beforehand. I was just all excited because you look at the CO2 stuff, and you're like, that's a party I want to be in. Oh, not with a fiber. But if you got the time and the money, sure, go ahead, knock yourself out. Don't say I didn't warn you. But the JPTs are good. Like, there is only, and I don't think he likes me. Honestly, I don't think he likes me. But Richard Zhang, if you're on Facebook, I've been in Facebook jail for like 2 months. I think I can get out in like 5 hours. Freedom. But the Facebook group on there, Fiber Laser Metal Engraving. There's been one business that sells lasers, dude, that I can honestly send people to and not have to worry about. Like, without a doubt, I have not seen one negative thing about Richard Zhang with OMG laser. I don't think he likes very much, and that's okay. He's cool. Yeah, whatever. But in all honesty, if you're going to spend your money, you want to invest in your future to build your business, to do awesome things, and then maybe use my assets for it. That's the only place I can comfortably send people to go to and not have to worry about anything. I've not seen one person ever have an issue with him. There are other good companies out there. There are other machines that I would eventually like to acquire myself to work on, and I'll get there. I'm in no rush. But yeah. So let me see another question. But at the end of the day, I'm not trying to be a dick saying like I have a John Deere laser. That hopefully y'all understand. I'm trying to like not be responsible for like, I'm trying to make it obvious. Like, don't buy one. Like, this isn't like I'm playing. Don't, please. All right, let me. I've been rambling on. Like I said, I'm not bashing the company. I like the color red. It's cool. Protect. Cool. Alright. I bought an 80 watt. Nice. I wish I would have bought more. I wish I would have bought a more powerful laser. I got a 50, and it's like this thing and the laser right here. This side, what you see here. Am I zoomed in? Yeah, I am. This was. I don't. This 12 or. I miscalculated apparently because I thought this was gonna go on until about 8 o'clock tonight, but it's like 18 hours. Hold on, let me go double check. Oh my gosh, I'm terrible at this. 15 hours for this side. The other side was 8. The ones that you saw kind of cleaned up on there. Oh yeah, but back to the negative. So basically, I'm gonna show you what the negative does. If y'all got a minute, it's time. Like I said, I didn't expect it to be done, but it's done. So now it is actually time to run the negative on this, and you'll see what the one color negative layout does in my artwork. So hang tight. We'll do this real quick. It takes a couple seconds. Yeah, OMG laser. Like I do plan to buy a few of those JPTs from Richard. I just I don't have the need for it just yet, but definitely like. And this is the other thing too. Like if people had the money, like I could buy a True Tech. Well, that's cool. All right, why not buy 5 JPTs with all the size lenses, a fume extractor, and then whatever's left over, come see Fragout. Come buy some of my stuff. And then go buy a truck, because you're still going to have a lot of money left over at the end of the day. And then if you want to get fancy or to have a True Tech, then, well, you've made it. You're successful. Go ahead, buy whatever the hell you want. But for a first laser, especially with my client base, I don't want to see them going down a road that's just not going to be good or enjoyable. And I don't want to be responsible if they don't listen. So, but alright, cool. So thinking some more questions. I don't mind going on for another 30 minutes, but I do want to see what this looks like when it pops. I gotta adjust the cameras, plug in the little settings, takes about maybe 2 minutes, fire away. And if people don't know, this is the biggest wrench I've ever seen in my life. It's as long as my leg. I'll put a quarter in there for scale. So let's go ahead and head over to the machine. You're not going to see me, but I'll be back once we're done with this. I want to see what it looks like. I think it's going to be cool. What am I clicking? Poof! And I have my wireless mic. I don't know. So it's still on. Hello. Alright, I have my wireless mic on. I don't think it's as great. Hopefully I didn't just blow out audio, but I can walk and talk with this. And that's what I'm gonna do here. Let me pull up my setup here. Momento. I can't see chat, so hang tight if you're changing subjects here. Projector. Output projector. Sorry, I'm setting up. I got a TV above my laser. That's what I used. Actually, I can see chat. Alright, so we are in my Trotec machine. Yep, looks good. Alright, so basically I just got done running like, what was it, 15 hours of the one color. Like if you look at my layouts, I had the one color negative, and the templates, sometimes two color. That's both of those together. Those aren't files that you're going to want to, like EasyCAD doesn't like both of them together. You're going to want to stack them. Here, I'll move my mic down a little bit. I apologize. I didn't even try to set this mic up for the tutorial because I kept blowing out my stuff. Alright, so alright, so we're going to need this file. This is the negative. I'll make it red so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Now with my laser, I don't know if how well you can see, but it has the X, Y, and Z moving axis. So this is the first time I ever tried it, but I can lock in like coordinates for it to travel to. And so I'm gonna make this blue again, but because I need it to be that. And so I'll be able to do two different pieces. This is the first time I've tried this because the other way of doing it doesn't work, which is what I mentioned before, why I bought the machine. So hang tight, I'm going to get that. Alright, so what I'm about the laser is going to be the one color negative. If you're curious to what that does, like if I have it specifically laid out in my artwork. Alright. So now, let me adjust this. Alright, sorry about that. I didn't have it set up for how I normally do. Okay, this is the first time I've tried this on this whole process I've been doing. So hopefully nothing catastrophic happens, but it could very well happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and start recording and then fire away. Let me see. So basically, like what you would do it like EasyCAD or something like that, where if you have my one color and one color negative stacked on top of each other, and you went and engraved the one color first, and then when it's done, since you have them both positioned in the exact positions they need to be, you do the one color negative, and you can do this afterwards to kind of clean it up without erasing the whole design doing the outline, if that makes sense. As for parameters, there's no way I can help you guys with that. It's all on the machine. I don't know any. And the stuff that is in the machine, it's not what you think. And so that's why I don't give or sell parameters. I just sell the artwork. But yeah, and you don't have to do this because I'm gonna be like, you know, sanding it down and cleaning it up when it's done anyways, but it does look cool. I don't know. That's what I use it for. But sometimes, you know, you never know when you may need that negative version of the artwork, you know, to do something with, and so that's why I include it. So theoretically, this should, once, and I don't think I've ever, not this way with my machine, it should flawlessly now move the laser to the other part, because I'm using my 330 lens, and these all together, I don't know how big it is. It's a huge freaking wrench, but you can't do it all with a 330. So you'll be able to see, like, I don't know if you saw it move a minute ago. I'm surprised this actually worked, but we shall see. Let me pull this back up. Commentating, this is fun. All right. So yeah. So this is done, and once this pass ends on the right here, it should move to the other part. Something bad may happen. I don't know. Let me move the camera number 2. I have like 4 cameras in my machine. I can't believe this works. Hold on. Commentation. Move my big head. So much fun. Yeah, and then also, like, sometimes when you're not doing, like, because the one color is usually what I use for deep engraving. I also sometimes don't even use the one color. I only use the one color negative, like on the BB guns with the black, like aluminum, whatever. I'll just run a pass of the negative, not even touch the one color, and that makes it pop because it's the inverse. If that makes sense. Oh, what time is it? We got a little bit longer. I was really craving Subway, so I'm gonna run there before they close. I can't believe this worked. But I use the one color negative a lot, basically, so when I'm making these videos, people who don't know what's going on can kind of see what's going on. Because you know how it is, if you just run, you know, something, it gets charred up and everything else. This kind of cleans it up without taking away what I needed to do. I like to have it the dark undertone. I don't know if y'all, I posted on Instagram, if y'all saw that other side that I did yesterday, oh my god. Oh yeah, my camera moves, by the way. It's like a robot. Oh, no. Just kidding. Stop. No, it's still there. You gotta do the hand thing. Robots don't listen. Stop. There you go. I talk with my hands too much. But yeah, so the idea with this is, like, I don't know if it's the right method or whatever. It's just how it kind of. I use Birchwood Casey gun cleaner and my Dremel, and just and I sand it down, and somehow it turns out like what you saw the other side. This is the first time I ever did a wrench, by the way. It is a weird like conglomerate of metal. But if you go deep enough, you'll burn away that stuff that you don't need there. Alright, let's see here. I'll have to move that. I couldn't even fit this. I'm using my like smallest lens and it still didn't work. And these are the webcams, which aren't very quality sucks. The other two cameras you saw, those were DSLRs, which I'm surprised I haven't fried. I want to show you all the cool thing, and then I'll finish it up later. I want to show you the cool parts when I do a full clean pass. It just looks awesome. And I think we should do it. And then y'all think of a few more questions. I apologize if I've missed any. If I've missed a question, go ahead and throw it in now, and then we'll get on it. I don't want to. I'm not trying to ignore anybody. So, but I want to show you all that because it looks really good with the yeah. And then also, I will be putting. I've had a few people ask. I wasn't initially intending to sell the files for the wrench, but I've had a lot of questions. So as soon as I get it done, I'll put them up. Okay, and give me like 30 seconds. I'll be right back. I'm back. I had to utilize the latrine. I apologize. Alright, so now we'll try. Drop my microphone. It's got like a bunny foo-foo thing on it. Alright. So now, like if you have my assets, a lot of my newer stuff will also include the like template or the outline. Along with the final artwork, and this is what I use that for. I don't know if I'm muted or not. I do plan to fine-tune my setup with that'll work better with live streaming. Yeah. Alright, so let me turn that off, turn this on. And type. And with this, like, you don't have to do this, but it does different things. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see here, almost ready. And to the dude that did a super chat earlier, man, thank you so much. That's going towards my Subway, 100%, man. They don't close till 10, so that's what's up. All right, we'll turn that down. Turn that up. Where's my doohickey? All right, here we go. Y'all ready? Let me make sure that's recording, because I wanted this to be in the time lapse. Yeah. All right. I know it's not positioned perfectly. Y'all with the camera. You'll see. It's thinking. It's thinking. Oh wait, no. Almost made a mistake. Whew. Alright, so with how my laser is, I have it, there's a thing where I can set coordinates for it to move to. I needed that to be before that. Alright, so that's that. Well, that was close. Alright, now we're good. Alright, let me adjust that. At this angle, it's not as cool to see, but this angle is cooler. And if anybody wants to know where I got this thing, I got it at Northern Tool. They do have big ones at Harbor Freight, but it's like half the size of this one. I don't even know what this is for, but I had to get one. They have giant ones. So, yeah, let me get back to commentating. So the vectorless bundle notes mention a way to upload them. Yes, but there is a specific reason why I don't show you how to do this. It's because there is a way. I've never been able to have it work reliably. It ends up bugging out, and it's a lot easier and reliable to just open the set, copy, paste in a new document. It'll work every time. 100% of the time. This part is cool. What gun? Alaska. A gun to challenge? No, I haven't run out of ideas, that's for sure. We have a lot on the to-do list. But I have surgery next week. And it's the last one. I had one a month ago on this arm. I'll be able to see it. It's healing up pretty good. And then on the elbow. This is up next week. Once I recover, the camera's moving again. Once I recover from that, it's game on, dude. I'm excited to see what it's like to draw again with my hands back. But I haven't run out of ideas. It's been hard to draw and everything else. Is my camera still moving? Stop. Cool. It's still moving. The 44 Auto Mag. I don't know what that is. Damn it. Stop moving. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically what the outline is. And I usually do run this pass, like with my process. And now what I would do is I would go, and I'm not going to do it on stream because it's going to take a while, but I run like a super tight hatch to make it a really dark fill, and I do one more pass on the negative, and then that's what I run away with, and then I go back and Dremel and experiment with it. I have a Colt Python 6-inch 357, a Smith & Wesson 500 Magnum 8-inch, and a whole lot of other ones that I do have planned to do in the future for artwork wise. It's just time wise and everything else, and with surgery, I wish this camera was like now. But yeah, I've been putting surgery off for too long, so getting both my hands done is exciting. Cool. I like it walking out. Audio is good. I'm glad I had this for a backup, and then I brought the one from. I have another one of these at home. I brought it just in case. I knew the Rode, that wireless mic was hit and miss. Love the honesty. That's all you can get from me. I ain't got no reason to bullshit nobody. My mouth and my honesty sometimes gets me in trouble, but you know, I'm not gonna steer someone in a direction it's not beneficial. I'm not here to just sabotage. Do we ever run out? Or see about that? Shane White Cloud, thanks again, dude. That's so buying me a sandwich. If Ron Wayne is still here, my toast. I want my toaster back, bro. Thanks everybody that's tuned in. I do plan on doing way more tutorials like this, and then I'll get better at them. This is the first time I've done this. I'm usually pretty anxious behind the camera, anxiety wise, whatever. I don't know. I should be looking at the camera. I'm trying to look at the thing. And then setup wise, I'll find a better way to do all this. So far, I've just had it set up to make the time-lapse videos and run my machine. Doing it live, there's a lot more pieces. I'm surprised this actually worked out. But as for the camera's moving again. As for the template tutorial part in the beginning, hopefully y'all found that helpful. I'll be honest, I didn't even know this robot could track you until like 2 days ago. I was doing an interview thing. Alright, thumbs up. I'll buy all of your packs, and I'll be here with more packs. There's a lot. It's pretty exciting. Showing y'all the borderless here. Stupid camera. Like the borderless vector patterns bundle. Oh man, it's one of my favorite things because it just makes life. Let's see, do I have set 2 still pulled up? Yeah, life easier. There are like 3 patterns in this whole thing, and especially if you go and look at set 3. Well, if you don't have any of my stuff yet, yeah, set 3 has even more stuff, and these are fun. You just pop them in and go. My flowers, my stanks. Copy paste. Oh, hey, this would be a good thing to bring up too. So with editing the patterns and having an overlap still, this is what you do. Fun fact. So size it down like before. Size it to art. Unclick it. Now make it bigger instead of smaller like before. Make it bigger again. Okay, and that's how you do that. Same thing, just opposite. Yes, sir, Mr. Emmanuel. Thank you so much for tuning in. And y'all I actually made this work. I was scared it was just gonna be a disaster show. Pause. Sorry, I have to keep hand signaling a robot. I talk with my hands too much, so having a robot that reacts to your hand signals is why. I was your biggest buyer on artwork last month. I did see your order. Thank you, sir. I will say though, I don't think you were top spot last month. You were close. I do appreciate it. Have you tried anything Cerakoted? Would you Cerakote a slide and then? I actually have a Glock that I'll be running tests on. That is Cerakoted just to see how to do that because I haven't done that yet. Theoretically, shouldn't be too hard to do. I just haven't tried it, but I got one. just stay tuned. I'll be rolling out things on YouTube, especially. I pretty much record everything I do in my machine just to have, you know, something to watch. But once my hands, like, I'd say another 4 weeks, I'll be able to draw again. After recovering, because I did my non-dominant hand first. I just waved again. But now we're doing my drawing hand, and so from knowing what recovery is like, it's gonna take me a few weeks to be able to even hold a pencil without cussing. So, but it's okay. I have yeah. So YouTube, making stuff that I haven't been able to make yet, like this wrench and everything else. It's pretty much going to be what I'll be doing. But I don't know if y'all saw Lightroom, what I had pulled up in the beginning. I've also been going all day, every day on getting stuff done now that I won't be able to do in the next few weeks. Pictures. If you go back and if you're able to see the beginning of the stream in Lightroom, you may see some guns that are coming up soon. Hint. They are taken apart, but yeah. And so I want to run the subway. I am hungry. I'm excited. This is great. Let me see. Is the camera still working? Yeah. There she is. I had let's see it. This here. Right here. Nope. Light went on that side of my machine. So that's why it's darker. Y'all get the general idea on that. But the other side looks so dope. Thank you, bud. I appreciate it. The blue Damascus still look on top. Are you? She just wanted like the outline or the not deep engraved. You could do that pretty easily. I don't know. I just haven't knocked Cerakote off without deep engraving yet, I don't think. I don't know. I'm tired. I'm hungry. When I get hungry, I just get like zoned out mode. But thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. Y'all awesome. Hell yeah. Hopefully I can go back and portion out the template part. Hopefully y'all found that useful. I know I'm not the best teacher, but with the actual little things you can do, it makes it, more solid product. But y'all let me know in the comments after this post to my channel if y'all want me to make another one, just short and sweet, or trim up like a thing. I don't mind. I'm open to ideas. ADXR920, you're welcome. Be sure to check out I made a playlist on my channel of all my tutorials, so it's all there. Good night. Or is that giraffe nonsense? What are you doing? Yes, sir. And I plan to do more. I've been wanting to do this for a while, especially with the Q&A part. And I appreciate everybody's patience with it. This is fun. And now that I'm actually not as shy behind the camera, I've done a few live streams with other YouTubers this past week. It's helped me get over the, camera. I don't do hands-on training. This is what I can do for now, though. So, maybe one day in the future. Not enough time in the world right now, and I definitely want to be engraving more stuff and getting better at my scroll work. But maybe in the future. But as for now, I'm here. I can make videos and do this. Just be patient. But thank you guys so much. As always, I don't know how to end these things. I'm going to Subway. Y'all have a good one. Thank you.